Okay, let's try this again then. How are we all doing today? Hello, everybody. I hope all is well. Alright, nobody's coming in now. I don't know. Just have to wait and see. Alright. Nobody's here yet, so just have a go with this thing, I guess. Hi, Haley. How you doing? I hope you're well. Welcome to my live. How are we doing today, people? Thank you for joining me. Hi, the real SGL Pro Gaming. Okay. Oh, really? Come on, guys, let's have a chat or something. Does that mean satisfying? All right. Okay. Where are you from, by the way? Anyway, if you don't mind asking, I'm in York, England myself. So. Hmm. Oh goodness. And trolls in the internet. Okay. I mean, it's your. Anyway. Oh, it's Jack. Okay. I thought yours was Haley, but I guess you don't have your own account, is it? So then. Hello, Reluctant Gamer. The House of Rebs. Welcome to the House of Rebs. Hello, available Valerie. How you doing? Keep it clean, as what it says in it. Hello, Reese. Welcome back. Not seen you for a while. Hope you're well. It's always doing the handles instead of like people's channel name now. Keep it clean, make it count. I'm from Austria, but I'm originally from France. So I speak French and English and German. Anyone got any good Halloween jokes? Like, why is 10 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9, and 10 is next. I'm from France. I speak German and I live in Austria. Make it count. Don't count the reps. Make the reps count. So I'm going to do some false clip pull-ups. Sorry, I don't know. I don't really speak a whole lot of French. I was just doing this guy was French guy. There's like this workout guy, and it was like rep after rep after rep for ages, just like, yeah. There's all these pull-ups and push-ups and things. And then there's that Man of Action who goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, pop, pop. That's literally what he does. Sorry, what you're saying, Available Valerie? I don't really know a lot of French. I learned some bits of French in school, but I couldn't really understand people's conversations and stuff. Okay, I don't even know. Was it? I don't know. I've seen the pop rep guy. Yeah. It's like does this grunting thing. 1, 2, 3. Like it's just like grunting. I guess it's just his way of doing it. But some people were saying that like Pulsing Iron was copying off him, but then he was saying that he was inspired both of him and someone called Iron Wolf, but he doesn't do it anymore, isn't it? Because people were like, "What's happened to Iron Wolf?" or something. I don't think I've ever seen him, but former army, I think he is. Is that Man of Action? I know he's like a real like hardcore Christian kind of guy because he always brings up the whole kind of about the whole Jesus thing in the at the end of every live stream. You talk like take Jack, isn't it? But yeah, he's like a real like kind of hardcore Christian guy, and he always does it at the end of the live stream, of like where he'll be like saying it's about like kind of it's all about God or something, and like I don't know, but some people are not. A lot of people are gonna just like tune out at that point. But I guess that's why he leaves that till the end, because it's like otherwise it would just put a lot of people off. But in America, they tend to be a bit more religious. Well, fine. I think in the UK nowadays, it's not really that religious, even though it is like considered as like a Christian country. There's a lot of like tons and tons of churches around and stuff, but people in the UK tend to be a bit more. I guess you could say it's a bit more secular now. But there used to be a lot of like kind of Catholic schools, Catholic churches and stuff, Church of England and all that kind of stuff. Well, I'd say it's become kind of like secular in a sense of like there's not any like particular religion that's kind of, but yeah, there's a lot of like Muslim thing, but it's like, but the thing is, a lot of them don't even practice their own religion. A lot of people don't even, like Christians, they don't even practice their own religion. It's like, for example, how many of these so-called Muslims would actually not do things like drink alcohol, because in their religion it prohibits them from drinking alcohol? Like, how many of them actually do that? And then there'll be stuff in Christianity that's like, they'll be like, how much of them actually follow all that stuff? Then they're not actually true to that religion. I think it's like, was a dog walker or something, just minding his own business. All right. Is that supposed to be a joke or something? What are you saying? Hang on. What is that? What are you saying about a dog walker? All right, another stabbing. Oh shit. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of these things going on, but it's not good, is it? That's what you get when you just like open the floodgates. Right, you're opening the floodgates and you just have this shit going on. But then people will say that you're racist just for pointing out these things, and that you want to protect people of this country, and that makes you a racist, apparently. It's not fair, is it? Yeah. Came in on the back of a lorry, apparently. Fucking hell. Well, he's also on the whole migrant hotel situation because, yeah, there's like people who have different like opinions and stuff, and but it's like, why should they be given all these, for free, and like that you've got people on the streets, you know, but yeah, they're put up in these hotels using taxpayers' money. Why don't they use that to put people up in a shelter, put the homeless up in shelter? They would use the money for that instead or something. That's the thing. It's like taxation is theft, as they say, because they're not even using it for the right reasons. We wouldn't be bothered if it was women and kids, but it's just all blocks, right? What are you saying? What are you saying about like know what you mean? Like, as in, what are you trying to say? And about blokes committing the crimes or something. It's like, what is it? These fighting age men or something? These military age men coming here. But it's like, yeah, we have to draw a line and be like, this is just getting out of hand. Yeah, it's all blokes. Why is there no women coming over then? Why are they leaving women behind? Because you got to think to yourself, why is it all men? Yeah. Like, they're all just coming here just to fucking, do things to the women of this country. It's fucked up. But then it's like, but then men get a bad name for it. But it's like, but then you have to look at demographics and stuff. But the thing is, the funny thing is that these leftists or whatever, they will not actually like acknowledge these things. They'll try and kind of make up like men out to be bad in general, but they don't look at like demographics and like things like disproportionate representation of certain demographics, because that goes against their whole fucking narrative. Because then they'll be afraid of being kind of, seen as racist or something. So they'll try and just fucking shame all of men. It's just absolutely just despicable. I've got kids to bring up in this country, and I'm worried for their future. Yeah, I can see why a lot of people don't even want to bring kids up at all in this time, because what kind of hope is there, And it's not only that, but it's like becoming increasingly dangerous. Oh, can you see that, guys? It's like the way that the light is kind of reflecting on the wall there. Can you see that? I'm pointing to there. There's like this way that the light is. There's this kind of like mirror image thing. It's pretty cool. You can see that, but it has this like effect of like a kind of. There's like a shape to it, and it's. It kind of almost looks like, I don't know what it kind of looks like really, but almost like a magnetic field or something is what I was thinking. Hello, MD. Is it snowing? No, it's not. Where are you from? Don't have any snow here. It's been a bit cold, but it hasn't been cold enough to snow yet. Plans for today, I'm actually going to some bit of a party thing they're doing. Some people like they're organizing something. So yeah, what are you up to? But yeah, it's just I don't know the whole thing with the grooming gangs and stuff, and it's like the government. Well, they won't do anything about it. Any of the authorities, they're not going to do anything about it because they're afraid of what it is, right? So I was talking about this with my dad, right, and saying, you've got, for example, like these, like Labour government or whatever, and they're like they can't do anything because they'd lose a whole bunch of votes. But also the Tories would as well if they're, because if they're not supporting that shit, then they're just all gonna lose votes basically. So they don't have a backbone. All they care about is power. They don't actually care about doing what's right. None of them do. They don't care about the people of this country or anything. They just want the votes so in a way that they are being kind of controlled by whatever is going to get votes, basically. Sounds good. I've got a PS5 to drop back off to a customer, and then I'm going to chill. Was at the hospital till 1 a.m. with the missus because her blood pressure was real high. Oh, no, that's not good. So I was like talking with someone about basically going to like say a charity shop or a thrift shop or something like that to like go and buy some kind of like secondhand shit, and then you could then put it on somewhere like Music Magpie, potentially get a profit. It's not like 100%, but what you have to do is like have a look and scan it and see if that would actually get you a profit. Like you can sometimes get some really good deals, but it depends if they'll actually accept it. So you've got to just kind of like, yeah. For example, you might get something like buy 3 CDs for £1. So it's like just over 30 pence a CD. But then they might give you like 50p per CD if you actually like put it on Music Magpie, for example. But I don't know what your thoughts on all that stuff is, but because you can put like electrical stuff in there. And anyway, so but yeah, this country is just like, I just can't stand it. Just in general, it's just gotten so like I don't know. People are just really like, I don't know. They're in their own bubble, and it's just everyone's all just in their own world. They're all just trying to rush to be somewhere. It seems they're all just zipping on their fucking bikes without any care in the world, and I can't be fucking doing with it. Like I said, I'm probably just gonna get myself like a bit of land somewhere, and maybe a static caravan, and just live on that, and just be somewhere quiet. Because I really can't be arsed with people, Maybe I'll just live like a more kind of solitary kind of lifestyle, but because I don't even really know if I have any faith in even getting a woman anymore because of just the whole kind of way that they have this attitude of thinking they're better than everybody, that better than all these men, and fuck off then. A lot of them just want to play their fucking stupid games and shit. Of course, there's some good ones out there, but the sort of thing, if it's meant to be, it will be, sort of thing. There's no point trying to like try and force things to happen. Just live your life, and then you may just happen to bump into somebody, and then things can happen. But if it doesn't, so be it. I'm just gonna like live life on my terms. So whoever comes into my life, it's like they're gonna have to like kind of just live. You know, it's like they're gonna have to not. Basically, what I'm saying is I'm not going to bend to anybody. I'm gonna just do my own thing, and they've got to respect that. So yeah, I've heard about that with eBay. It's just that I don't know if you can get much for it, and it's not guaranteed. Whereas with Music Magpie, apparently they'll just like buy stuff. So it's a bit risky if you're doing shit like that. I've heard you can put a free listing up, but you'd have to actually get someone to do that before actually buying it, as a way of preventing you just from buying something that just ends up spending months without getting a sale, because then you're just wasting money. Then let's say you buy something from a fucking charity shop and then you put it on eBay, but it could just be sat there for ages if you've not actually like you have to pre-list it and then see if anyone's interested and then buy it. So basically just be reselling and stuff. Yeah, I'm not into weed smoking though, that's the thing. It just get a bit too kind of, it'd just be someone that would be like down to earth and just kind of, I don't know, the whole weed smoke, to me it's a bit degenerate, that shit. I don't know. Just someone who's just kind of down to earth and not actually like, you know, crazy and whatever, and just and is conceited and all this shit. Someone who's just, you know, fairly humble and just kind of but you know, at least somewhat attractive. Because, you know, I'm like, I have standards. I'm not gonna just go for someone that I just find unattractive in general. So but yeah, I couldn't be doing with weed smoking. I wouldn't want to keep breathing that shit in, and yeah, that would not be for me. So yeah. I mean, it can be, some of those people could be interesting, but it's just, I just find that it could be a bit degenerate and just, I don't know, if they start getting too much into that, then it's like if someone was like drinking all the time, it's like, would we really be compatible? I don't know. It's just, I guess it depends on how much people do stuff. Like if someone did that stuff on occasion, then it's like okay, but like, but it's like I remember I got into like conspiracy circles, and some of the people were absolutely crazy. They were really just like had some really weird views on things. Um, yeah, yeah, drinkers are like the worst. I mean, I'm not saying all drinkers are, but it depends on how much they do it. Like if it's a point where they're like borderline kind of alcoholic, then that can be a problem. Oftentimes, people do it to try and kind of try to just drown sorrows and things, and there's some deeper issues a lot of the time that they're trying to cope with. Oftentimes, also people use it as a way to give them a sense of confidence, but they haven't actually cultivated it. It's like a fake confidence, where it's like if you have to be drunk to have confidence, then you're not really confident. So I was arguing about this about like guys, you know, getting drunk to have good Dutch courage, but they don't have true courage. They're altering their mind, and that's just a weak kind of. Someone was saying it was like beta male behavior that um, you have to get yourself to a point where you have true confidence in that you're, because some might say that, oh well, once you're with someone, then that, you know, like fear goes away, but it's like, but I actually would say no, because I think that there's a fundamental thing there that I think needs to be addressed, because it could apply to a lot of things in life, whether it be even things like a job interview, if that's what you want to do, or or what else? Just anything where you're in a situation that seems a bit daunting, but it's like you haven't worked on sort of like on your mind, and you would just use alcohol as a crutch for anything. Yeah, it's an awful addiction. My granddad that was quite a heavy drinker. He drank whiskey, and yeah, I've heard some of the stories of like when he got drunk and he was like, he could get a bit violent. Yeah, that's what it is, because even women themselves are saying stuff like, "Don't approach me. It's harassment." And I know a lot of them don't do that, but it's like, but the thing is that women should be trying to like. I'm not saying they should always be like initiating conversation, but they should at least give some signal for you to go over and approach them, because. And a lot of people say, "Oh, well, but men need to have confidence to do it." But it's like, the thing is, it's like, why should men have to approach 100 women that aren't interested? Because they don't know if a woman's interested or not. They go and approach them, and then that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Because these days, most women are just not even interested. They have stupidly high standards, but they expect men to approach them. And then the more that men approach them, the more it inflates their fucking egos. And they think they can just like reject them all. So men have started to get to a point where like, hang on a minute, this is a fucking joke. So I think you're right there in that, like, I think men are partly to blame for it by being too thirsty and just like saying, some men have just decided, you know what, fuck it. I can't be arsed with this. Because like, yeah, it's just hey, is this your day of change? How you doing? What's your name? Hope you're doing well today. But yeah, just on a rant. But anyway, you know what I mean? It's just yeah. It's just become a lot more like kind of just hard for people to meet others now. Like, everyone's just in their own bubble, and it would just feel awkward and just like, yeah. And yeah, a lot of men just lack confidence, like I said, but it's like, even though some men really do have confidence, they still feel like they shouldn't bother approaching them, because why even bother? Because they've said themselves they don't want to be approached. They said, "Don't approach me." And a lot of men now think that unless they're like really good looking, that they shouldn't even bother, because they're probably just going to reject them. But that can really knock someone's self-esteem if you just get in, if you was to ask out a whole bunch of women and then get, no yeses. But a lot of people say that rejection is good because it can, you've got to try and learn to just deal with it. But it's like, what if you're somebody that struggles and you're like constantly getting rejected? They might say, well, you need to lower your standards. But even some men with relatively low standards, they're going to struggle. You might say, oh, well, you just got to practice. Well, but it's like, how is that going to help you if you're just constantly getting, negative reinforcement? It can be difficult. So I don't want to just pretend like it's easy for men out there, I think women, if they're interested, they should just show some indication of that and make it pretty clear so that you can go and approach them. Like, why is it all on men to do the approaching, to be the ones to get rejected? If women want equality, they should be the ones doing half the work of trying to make something happen. Sheep follow the shepherd, yeah. So without having a charm and attractive personality, you either have it or you don't. Yeah. So what you're saying is that you can't just make it happen. I mean, as in like you can't just, sort of. So what do you think? What about these guys who struggle? You're just going to say that they're just going to be doomed? I mean, because they just don't have that charm or something. With some people, it's just like you have a certain personality and that's it. And you're just kind of like, there's a lot that will just never get anybody because they're just kind of like, I don't know, are they just stuck who they are? Or I don't want to be old doomer. That's the thing. It's just, but there's this rise of like fucking AI girlfriends and shit, It's mad, isn't it? It's like I don't know. I think they need to get themselves noticed in a different way. Maybe nice clothes, having a talent, etc. Yeah. I think having a talent is a good point actually, because it's all about status, basically, isn't it? Like that. When you have a certain talent, it gives you a certain status, especially if you're like a street performer or something like that. That could be a way to get, someone, because you might get someone like, if you're really good and you have a talent and then you get noticed. So that could compensate for a lack of charisma, because in a way that kind of gives you that kind of charisma just by having that kind of talent that you don't need to have. You won't need to have that kind of riz, if you will, to like, because you make up for it. You actually more than make up for it in having a certain talent or something. Because it's like just by you being someone who, is outstanding in a certain field, it puts you above the rest, like most of them. I mean, like you're just but yeah, the other one is like finding your niche. So what is it that you're kind of like, for example, if you're into a certain kind of music, that it might be a good idea to try and get out to places like that and mix with those sort of people, because even if you're not the most physically attractive, but because you're in that niche, that might make you more attractive to that niche. So it's a way of kind of like just like, yes, if you know what I mean. I'm not very good looking and have zero confidence, but I like to think I can make people laugh, and sometimes even that's enough to get noticed. Yeah. I mean, I've been told I'm a good looking guy and all this shit, and the only people that say I'm not is just a bunch of like fucking nasty guys who are just, bitter. Those are the only ones that will not say that I'm good looking. All these women out there, they'll pretty much almost always say that I'm attractive. So I don't have any problems, and I'm a tall guy as well. So I pretty much have all the advantages in that way. But the only thing I don't really have an advantage in is, I guess, the autism part is a kind of tricky one, because it's not that I can't socialize or anything. It's just that a lot of it comes down to like I have my own ways of doing things. I don't go out drinking. I don't do the things that a lot of people do. I'm quite a sort of my own person in that way. I just sort of oh yeah, that's just a joke, isn't it? About what is it? The scarecrow? What is it? Why is this? Yeah. Hello, Alondra. How you doing? I hope you're well. But if you can sort of like give yourself some kind of like advantage, like you're saying about having a talent, then that's going to help you stand out and give you some leverage. Some people try and like make more money and things like that, but I don't think that is really the answer, because you're just going to attract a bunch of gold diggers. And do you really want that?
this is where I don't really agree with a lot of like the self-improvement people, because a lot of times their focus is on make more money to attract a woman. Yeah. Can't stand people for the most part, especially samey people. What do you mean? You're on about like NPCs? Yeah, I can't be doing with those sort of people, really. Just, I want to have more like deeper conversations and things, and not just the same NPC bullshit. So I find it difficult to really connect. That might be why I don't really get like tons of viewers a lot of the time, because it's like I just need to sort my shoelaces out because I'm going out. But that these NPCs, and it's just funny the words like NPC and like, you know, like yeah. I mean, they're just like, yeah, they all just have the same kind of personality. They're all of their opinions are all basically the same based on like whatever the current thing is. Like, um, stand with whatever country that's, you know. Shit. So I muted myself by accident there. That's the thing, it happens a lot on the air, I've noticed. But yeah, like the whole thing I was saying, celebrity crushes I just find weird, and just kind of, especially when they have them when they're with somebody. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, so I was like arguing about this a while bit before. It's like, if yeah, you shouldn't be having celebrity crushes, especially when you're like with somebody, right? Just, that's fucked. But I don't know. I just, the more and more I like think about society, the more and more I just realize how fucked up it is. It's like, for example, a lot of people would rather support strangers than their own fucking family and friends. That's what you'll find, right? Most of the support you get isn't from the people that are supposed to like mean the most to you and whatever. They're just basically, you know what I mean? It's sad, really. I mean, it's almost like in some cases where your own family doesn't want to support you. Like, they're just kind of. I'm not saying everyone's like that, but a lot of people say that there's a lot of either jealousy or whatever, and there's this whole thing of like, it's like kind of like this whole poppy syndrome thing, right? And where they don't want to see other members in the family doing better than them. It hurts their ego and whatever, and yeah, just whatever. It's like that. Some people, they can't stand having somebody better off than them. It's like quite narcissistic and self-absorbed and whatever, and just, yeah, it's pathetic. I just find most people are just generally quite pathetic, and I'm not really much better, I don't think. So this isn't to say, oh, I'm so great and all that. No, I don't think most people are that good. Is what I've come to realize. Most people seem to be quite kind of narcissistic, and it's like a spectrum. Some are worse than others. I remember someone was showing me this like narcissism spectrum and saying that most people are going to be somewhere in the middle, but it's like, yeah, most people are going to have at least some degree of narcissistic and selfish kind of traits about them. Doing mundane robotic jobs, yeah, exactly. Just never think about starting their own business or anything like that. Of course, there's going to be people who say like need to be like doctors and things like that, but like most people have no aspirations. they're just going through the motions of life and just they think that that's all that there is to life, and they're just, oh, I'll just go work in this shop and just do that their whole life. But then they never think, well, why do I have to do that? You know, why do I have to, kiss some boss's ass all day, every day? Some people even get called by their boss even when they're not at fucking work. What a joke, you know? I mean, it's just an absolute joke, isn't it? It's, oh, shit. Yeah. My family and ex, so what do you mean, Dookie? I remember a Green Day album called Dookie. I got in a car crash and no one came to help me or wanted to help me. It's that bad. Only when they need something do they want to talk to me. Yeah, I know. That's the thing, isn't it? Yeah, you have a nice day. Yeah, they only want to help you when there's something for them, you know? But yeah, that's the way the world is, when people are very selfish and they don't care. Getting some money. Yeah, just I don't know. It can just make you better, but I try not to think about it too much now, because it's like it is what it is, It is what it is. Sometimes there's just not a whole lot we can really do, is there, We just have to kind of accept and just, because when it's like you have this attachment to something, like you have this thing of like, oh, I wish that the world, and you're attached to a certain ideal. It's going to cause you suffering. We just have to accept the way that things are and just try to do the best. But I know I was saying wanting to like start my own revolution or something, right? But I've come to think that I've got to focus on, sort of doing what's best for me and like setting an example and having others sort of, along that and just